Hi, this is Jazz from ZX7r.co.uk, ZX7r Owners Club. Okay, what I've done now is I bought another HID kit because I wanted both of them. But it's the same principle with fitting it, so if I just go in here, you can see the ballast on the left hand side now. There's the second HID kit, and there's the first one that I had. So I've connected it all up and so forth. The other parts that I've added in, I put a connector block. So I cut the existing cabling, the positive and the negative, and I put the connector block in place because if you ever want to take the front off, you don't want a continuous cable from here going all the way to the back. If you are going to do that, and you're going to do it for two HID kits, make sure that the cabling can cope with at least 40 amps peak and a continuous flow of around about 15 to 20, just give or take. So now that's in play, now we can test it out. So I will actually put this against the wall where the HIDs are facing, and I'll close the doors. Okay, I'm going to keep the garage lights on so you get a comparison, because this is a standard yellowy kind of bulb, very similar to that of the of your standard H4 bulbs within the ZX7R. So let's turn it on, see what happens. Okay, so first you get that funny kind of noise, and this effectively is the arc generating. You see the flicker as well? That's the stabilizer, and what happens is when the arc starts, they start to generate low light effectively, and then they get brighter and brighter. Now, if you can listen in the background, you've got a high frequency noise which is kind of going like doo. Originally when it starts, that's a combination of the ballast and the inverter. Obviously they're producing a lot more energy on the initial start. They can go up to 20 amps per bulb, and then they start to go down to a consistent flow with a current clamp. You probably get about 6, maybe 5 amps of continuous use. If you compare that against your existing bulbs, it's a hell of a lot better. Now if you notice, I'm running these without the engine being on, so this is directly from the engine. To show you how good these actually run, I'm going to start the engine in this state. Now the reason for that is when you know that when you start a bike, your starter motor starts. The starter motor takes a lot of power. So if these work while the starter motor is going and the bike turns on, it just shows you how much better power management that they've got. And this is done with the digital ballasts. So let me try that again. Oh, actually, I need the choke. Now I've done this all on purpose. I've disassembled my accelerator system so there's no choke. I've continuously done the starter a few times. I'll do it a couple more times. Okay, and it runs perfectly. You can see the flicker in between. That's compensation with the digital ballast. From what I understand in my research, the way the digital ballast works is it keeps an eye on the voltage, any spikes, etc., etc. When it detects a loss in power to a degree, it actually compensates by apparently it reduces the amount of power it gives to the actual bulbs itself, and it can only do this for a temporary amount of time. I'm not 100% clued up on it, but compared to the original HID kit that I had, which was designed for a car by the way, when I used to use the starter motor and the HIDs were on, the HIDs were cut off because all the power went to the starter motor. They weren't digital ballast, they were analog, so in other words, they needed the surrounding environment to be perfect for them, i.e. the engine's running, then you put your HIDs on, and so forth like that. So you can see the HIDs, that they're absolutely brilliant, brilliant white. If I bring to the front, I don't know what's going to happen with the camera, but we'll have a little look. I mean that to me looks so much more clearer, and I can assure you, going down the road, people will see that and they'll be tempted not to pull out on you. That's it really, just to show you what I've done with the battery. It's connecting obviously the positive and negative on. You can see the thickness on the cable, they're reasonably thick. It'll cope with up to, I believe the peak ones on these are about 37 amps or something of that nature, which is fine. Just taking it around. So the way I'm going to do it is, with these cables here, I'm going to take off the tank and I'm going to embed it into the existing loom by just using normal black insulation tape. Put that across, and then the plug, as you can see here, oh actually as you cannot see, stay there. Oh, sorry about that, gents. As you can see, I'm absolutely brilliant at video camera skills here. So this plug here, you've got two plugs, well you've got one major plug here and your ground here. So what will happen is all this will be tied in. So if anyone takes apart the bike, i.e. yourself, or you're getting it serviced and they've got to take off the front, it's just an extra plug for them to dismantle. Guys, spend a bit of time. I mean, you love your ZX7Rs, I love mine to bits. This is why I'm doing this video, this is why I'm spending a lot of time showing you how it's done. This is why I'm spending a lot of time taking off all the bits, so it's all nice and neat, because these bikes are just awesome and they deserve the respect. Right gents, so the next part now is finishing off the bits, put the fuses in play, and we'll go from there.